So thank you so much for joining our session tonight. And the content here is about three things: educate, engage, and convert. When we did the first session where I was showing the social media platforms, that is the point where you get to source for your audience. Then you get to engage with that audience because the audience will give them, they will ask questions, they will express their views. It is very important that you get to respond to them. Like yesterday, I was trying to explain like how my strategy is. In the evening and first thing in the morning, I have to respond to the comments and questions from the prospects. Then once now they get back and to engage, the next thing is you try to convert that into a sale. Now, how do you get to convert? You must have a product, and that product must communicate some good value. So yesterday we went through the 200 content ideas, but then it sounds very simple when you're getting started with the journey. But you may find yourself day 1, day 2, day 3, you have content. Day 4, you run dry. And then now you start skipping your content generation and posting. In other words, you land into a problem of inconsistency. So how can we be able to fix that? So I have a model here specifically towards digital marketing. Day 1, what will be your focus? What is the content description? And maybe some example. Yesterday I talked of the warm and the cold market. The warm market is when you sell to your friends. And I'll tell you for free, it is the most difficult market to deal with because your friends know you from different perspectives. There's somebody who's going to take you seriously. There's somebody who takes you casually and cannot see the seriousness into what you are trying to deliver. But when you jump into the cold water, in the cold market, it is where you meet perfect strangers and there is a straight or a direct point of engagement. And the beauty of the cold market is that it is open, it is very wide. So let's look at this. So your origin, you begin by introducing yourself. If you remember the content that we have been doing, what we did on day 1, the first thing is I introduced myself and discussed about my why. Why have I joined digital marketing? What is my why? So that you can see whether your idea, your thought actually align with what I have in mind. So what is your journey? Share your background and why you are taking this. Where I have come from, how did I get into digital marketing? And then you can be able to show some split screen, some infographics. What is, okay, like how did I start from 0 to 1,000 clients, something like that. In other words, here we are trying to provide some kind of some social proof. Now, why is digital marketing the future? Yes. And I would cite a very clear example. When COVID came, tukafungiwa kwa manyumba and things were not as usual. But within that space, also some new modes or models of doing business emerged. And one of such is digital marketing. So, because one thing that we get to fear, we ask ourselves, what about when the market becomes saturated? Suppose this does not work. Who else has done this? Am I really sure that I'm jumping into the right space? Okay, number 3. So day number 1, who you are. Number 2, you get to introduce the concept of digital marketing and why it is the new frontier. Day number 3, what is a digital marketer? Truth be told, you'll be surprised to find out that the much that you know, much of your audience, even 10%, they don't know. So define what is digital marketing to these people. Because the reality is digital marketing is very, very wide. Because the description is being able to promote and sell products and services online, period, or via the internet. And here we could be talking of either physical products, part of which we call drop shipping, or you are selling a digital product, so some intangible product. And in these, you find attraction marketing, you find affiliate marketing, there's SEO marketing. It is extremely, extremely wide. So, at least one, you get to understand the broader picture. Then, now you can be able to find how, who am I going to target, and perhaps where am I going to find these people. So, day number 4, your 3 pillars of digital marketing: teach the content, traffic, and conversion. Like, let me speak for myself. How do we meet? We met through my content. Then, when you subscribed, you became part of the traffic. Now, for those who have made commitment and they have bought the program, then they have been able to convert. So that is the thing. But let's just look at those 3: content, traffic, and then conversion. And we have been talking of the cold market. Never rush to sell, because your customer must build the trust. Lazima huyo mtu akuamini. Because the thing is this: when I say I've made this sale, I've made the other sale, no one is going to ask me for my bank statement. No one is going to show me exactly this. That is at my discretion. But can I be able to resonate with this content? How can I be able to generate traffic? And then now build engagement, and eventually you can be able to make some sale out of conversion. Day number 4, deal with issues of myths. And now this is where you get to handle objections. Like, do I need to be tech savvy? Must I have 12 hours in a day? I have tried this thing and it has never worked. This market is too crowded. Be able now to deal with such. Because the reality is, by the time some people are getting to you, wamejaribu hii kitu, but maybe they did not have the right information, maybe they were overly ambitious, maybe something was just not right. I usually give the example of a M-Pesa. If you look across the street, one M-Pesa, the next one, an M-Pesa after the other. But all these people are in business, because if they are not in business, you simply close. So somebody may say, but this M-Pesa business is too crowded. Let me tell you, the hardest business to start is where you are the forerunner. Yes, because you do the bush clearing, you have no one to learn from. Basically, you are on your own. What we call the first mover advantage. The advantage is, if the market is receptive, it means that you'll be providing a product or presenting a product at the right time. So you actually are at the marketplace at the right time, and you're able to dictate the terms. Lakini, your cost of doing business is very high. Now, whoever is going to come after you, we call them the first follower. Let me give you an example. Look at the banking sector. KCB and other banks, they have been in the market for a long time. Equity came in much later, and they were able to capitalize on what the other banks are not doing, and they made it happen. So try to be able to address those myths or those concerns. Day number 6, share your first win. Yes, how you got your first client, perhaps how much you made, how did that make you feel like. Sure, that I always say the mouth can lie, but your body language can never lie. Even if it is, you made like in our case, I mean, you just made your first $100. It means everything much better than a seasoned marketer who has made $900, because to them it's like they feel like I've been making this kind of money every day. But your first win, your first sale is so huge, is so big, because that is what gives you the energy or the sprint to move to the next level. Then day number 7, inspire. Your digital journey starts with learning one skill. You know, there's some of the prospects that you'll get, they'll come expecting magic. Nimeingia hivi, day number 1, day number 2, I am the darling of the market, I'm making money. It doesn't work like that. And even if it were to happen, because this person has not gone through the ropes, it is very easy that before long they will drop. But if you've been there and you have come consistently, buy and buy, now you can start inspiring others. Don't wait until you become a big time player that now you can say, I have had my first 2 million, this big money, and now I'm inspiring. Sometimes, by the way, such kind of an inspiration may even actually kill the spirit of a beginner. Because if I'm talking of a million and somebody has not even made 100 bob, then they may feel that this is not my space. So you have laid your foundation for week number 1. Now week number 2, now start to educate and then show where the value is. Teach us the core concepts, showcase authority, and help your audience to learn practically. Yesterday, I did show you, I was trying to illustrate. Suppose I want to go for digital print content or being able to sell premium t-shirts well printed. I showed you how you can be able to generate the images or the content to be printed. So here now, start going practical. Start showcasing the skills. So day 1 or day number 8 or our day 1 in week 2, the digital marketing funnel explained. Now, when you talk of a funnel, and I should have heard, we know what a funnel is. At the top, we bring in our customers, so many of them. The moment now we start engaging, the number reduces. The moment we start reaching to the point of making a decision, the number even shrinks further. And out of that, a few will convert and buy to your product. That is what a funnel is. Now, there's usually this common saying or narrative. I may see I have 10,000 followers on my social media. Do I know most of these people? No. Do you have a personal touch with these people? No. Wait until your moment of need comes. You never see them. You never see them. So that is how a funnel operates. They will come in so much. There are people who are in for curiosity or try to identify, is there something right for me, or being able to identify their fit. Day number 9, talk about the essential tools you need. Yes. For example, to be able to generate my content, what are the tools that I need? I would say I need my mobile phone. I need Canva, for example. I need ChatGPT. Maybe I need some video editing software, such as CapCut. What are the tools that you need? So you can see here, like Google Analytics, email tools. What are the tools that you need? Then, now day number 10, content creation 101. In other words, now you can start creating content. Show how to turn one idea into 5 post types. Again, allow me to tap into what we were looking at last night. So, if I want to create content on finance, or if I want to create content on digital marketing, I would ask, like for example, I would want to create content on digital marketing for a beginner. Now, I can be able to pick that idea and I create 10 videos out of it. Because All the beginners are not at the same level. All the beginners are in different spaces. So can I be able to create some content that when somebody comes to see what I have created, there's something that they can connect with. Day number 11, I talk about SEO made simple. And what I mean by SEO is search engine optimization. How do people find you? On the internet, we are talking of millions of people. And this is where now you get to learn about keyword research. So if I want to post a video on digital marketing for an absolute beginner, that is my title. So my title has to be very well optimized, that maybe Google, if I'm using YouTube, for example, YouTube will easily pick my title. If I'm using TikTok, TikTok will easily identify my title. Facebook, whatever platform. Then below the title is the actual content. Does the title and the actual content relate? Do the keywords in the title are such words also mentioned in the content? And that is where I'll tell you for free AI comes in. Then number 12, talk about paid ads versus organic growth. Let me tell you, ukweli ni kuwa organic growth, one, is free. It may take you a little while, but it's the most authentic audience. You see, when you go for paid ads, you run the risk of, you run the benefit of your content being shown to the right people. You also run the risk of your content being shown to the wrong people, yet you have paid for the same. You'd better have your content being shown to the wrong people, but you have not shown. Or rather, you have not paid for the same. So here it's just a matter of being able to see what adjustments can I make on my content so that it is directed to the wrong people. To the right people, not the wrong people. It is directed to the right people. Day number 13, email marketing magic. Yes. And here the big picture is what we call leads generation. How do I source for potential customers? There's something called lead magnet. You go to supermarkets and you find a company either promoting an already known product or introducing a new product. One, they give something for free. That free content or that free something is what you are calling the magnet. That is what is going to capture my attention. And I say, okay, fine. So what are you talking about? Let me have a look. Let me go and try. Somebody becomes conscious about what you're saying. Somebody becomes conscious about what you're selling. So actually, somebody is ready to engage with you. And then day number 14, that is now end of week 2, case study Saturday. Show a client or student success story in numbers. But also, as you get to do this, let people share their experiences. You may not have made a sale. You could be struggling with content generation. At least let me say, since 2023, I've had some good ground on content generation, but I've not been generating content constantly or every day. Like, as I was saying, as I was saying, I got back on track in February this year. But it does not mean because I took over at some point, I lost the skills that I had. No. But now you can get to begin sharpening and shaping those skills. The so-called success stories give social proof. And you get to see somebody that you know, or somebody that you believe was way below where you are and is making it. That is a motivator for somebody to take action. Now, week number 3, now we start getting serious. Interaction and engagement. So now you get your followers to participate, apply, and respond. Let me tell you something. No matter how good your story is, how good your narrative is, you must have something called call to action. So you look at my videos. At the end, I'd say, if you're interested, go to the comment section, comment the word I'm interested or the word legacy. Then go to my profile. There's a link to my website. I am asking you to do something. That is what is called call to action. If I come and give you this so valuable information and then I end there, expecting that, see, you've heard, so you try to make a follower. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. How many subscribers are we having on TikTok? How much content are we consuming on TikTok, for example? There's a lot. But if you are able to call your action, your customer to, or your prospect to order, because it's not your customer yet, then let's go into week number 3. Get your yes, I think I mentioned that. You can carry out some poll. What is stopping you? I feel I want this system. I feel I want this product. Lakini, my family background cannot allow. My economic burden, I have so many people who are dependent on me. This cannot allow. Now, the question is this. The reality is, so you can be able to run a poll. Then you'll be able to see where you are, other people on the other divide, and assuming that you have decided, I'll wait. But there's somebody, you can see, you begin seeing that 2-3 people are actually ready to put in their money. Then you may look around and say, okay, so suppose I dispose these items in the house that I don't need. Can I be able to raise this money? In other words, now you start now thinking in terms of, how do I raise my capital to start this journey? And then now you can announce like a 5-day challenge. I would say before you announce the 5-day challenge, be very confident in being able to generate and post content and handle potential customer inquiries. There is no angel who is going to come from heaven to come and buy because they understand everything. No. You can see here, learn how to launch your first digital marketing campaign. Yeah. How do I start? And I would say, normally, like week 1, it is very difficult. I can easily just go live and I start selling right away, even before I have introduced myself. It is the wrong way of doing it. So do some like a 5-day challenge. Another way to look at this, there are those people that you have recruited or who are potential recruits. Do like a 5-day challenge. So day 1 we do this. You succeed, you proceed to number 2, or to day 2. You don't succeed, you repeat that task until such a time that you're able to understand, so that you can be able to move to the next level. Day 17, you do a challenge. Day 1, identify your niche. Like David here talked about taxation. For me, I only understand taxation when I either look at my payslip or when I look at the receipt and I'm seeing how much I'm paying in taxes. In other words, here we want to teach people how to create or how to select a profitable niche. And those niches are in so many. But for example, if I was to look at just digital marketing, am I going to make my money through search engine optimization? Am I going to make my money through content generation? Am I going to make my money through generating digital content and then selling it? Identify your niche. Create your offer. Guide your guidance to design a digital service. So here we are looking at the problem. Look at the last column. Problem, solution, offer. Day number 19, which is now your challenge day 3. Build a landing page. Let me use a house to explain this, or even our places of work. When you get into your house, maybe the first place that you land at, it's either a corridor, the dining room, the sitting room, but you not open the main door and you find yourself straight into the bedroom. So, Day 19, we are building. Remember, we said we need a website. So the first page that a person is going to see when they log onto your website is called the landing page. And on this landing page is where you prompt users to maybe to provide their name, their email address. The more details that you ask for, the worse it is going to work against you. Remember, you had no appointment with these customers. They just showed up. So just capture exactly what you need. Carry out your analysis in privacy, and you'll be able to identify who is your target market. Challenge day number 2, create an offer. Do you know why those ladies in the supermarket, they are giving free samples? Those free samples are their offer. I know what I want in you, but in the meantime, can you have a test in about or into this more token of mine? Day 3, build a landing page. So day 1, we had the ideas. Now we get to build that landing page. So that now it enables users to be able to maybe to come in, provide their name, their telephone number, their what, even their address, whichever detail that you may require about these people. Number 4, generate traffic. Now, can we be able to start generating traffic through hashtags? Reels. Reels are greatly used by YouTube. Those are those small or those short portrait videos that you see on YouTube. Those are the ones that you are calling. Sorry, I'm getting choked. Yes, those are your offers. All right, day number 20. Now start generating traffic through the, yes, we were actually on day number 20, through those short videos. Normally for YouTube, that short video must be less than 60 seconds. Otherwise, they will not accept. The use of hashtags. How do you choose your hashtags? And then some simple ads. That leads us to day number 21. Convert and celebrate. Now, here you push the game to another level. I want now people to subscribe for my product. They pay for it. I want money in my pocket. How do you generate this kind of traffic? I remember a couple of years back, a friend of mine leads a pickup. So nikajaza pickup, and I was taking people to my mentor for recruitment. But by the time we were getting to my mentor, we had less than 10 people left on that pickup. So it is important that you get to, as you generate traffic challenge, that must also be well managed. Convert and celebrate. So show how you've been able to turn your leads into buyers. Also encourage others into that space to participate. I cannot celebrate alone and I call myself a winner. Neither can a member of faculty do the same, etc. But can we, as we put it in Swahili, tutembeleane, can we visit each other, see how much they've been able to do with the provided resources, and also how have they been able to manage their associated risks? We are doing so well. We are at day 21, that is week 3. Week 4, authority, trust, and conversion. So here, now we want to start converting our interest into sales. Let's come out clean. You spend very little to no time on items that you are not interested in. But when you come across an item that you're interested in, you spend more time on it. You start seeing yourself owning that item. In other words, you are seeing yourself in that experience. Showcase your results. Highlight challenge results. Share metrics and testimonials. Who else can be able to attest to this? And then number 23, and I love that the most, the power of community. How do I join this digital team community? Because whatever you have gone through, maybe from stage 1 to 22, they have already encountered that. In other words, they'll tell you what to avoid and what to go for. Number 24, special offer announcements. Remember, we are trying to penetrate into a new market. You will not be able to compete with already established brands if I'm to use free offers. How do I do it? Who's going to be involved? Special offer announcement, yes. You can be able to discriminate, and I would say this is optional. Optional. You may decide day 23, we close our doors, we are not talking to anyone. See you on day number 26. Si biashara ni yetu. So, now here you must deal with objections. Both day 23, 24 and 25, you must be able to deal with objections. 26, frequently asked, quick, rapid share. Yeah. Somebody is trying to rush their grandfather into an early maturity. Rather, not early maturity, but into early death. Why must you do so? Remember, and this critical, remember, one day, one time, you will run into problems and maybe require the services of the color paints or crayons that I have here. Then now you start considering that for help. Special offer announcements. In typical marketing, this strategy is heavily used. I'll identify a product that is near expiry and perhaps has about 1 to 2 months to expire. Now, the thing is, how do you package your, I think we are at day 24, yes. So, sorry, 2023, yes. So in that, show how you will be able to, or how you're able to package your content in such a way that, yes, in such a way that it also encourages others to take action and also be accountable for the same. Special offer announcement. Sorry, I think I was actually at day 24. Yes, introduce limited time access to your program. Yeah, 24 hours left. Other Tukenda supermarket, those special offers, they never last, maybe a week or two. And then behind the offer, explain what is included. Like the content, like what we went through to show what is in the launchpad, what is in the daily pay, what is in the digital mastery, what is in the topmost to the target, the legacy builder program, the bonuses, how do you go through the mentorship, and then frequent asked question, FAQ. This is where, as I said, you deal with objections. Number 26, 7, social proof power. Yes, you can be able to share some screenshots of your successes, of the sales that you've made, such. It helps you earn more trust. 28, the trends and future of digital marketing. Like now we are talking about AI, automation, content personalization. China is doing very well in this. Then the final call, all enrollment closing. This is where now you are prompting people to take action. Now, 29, there is a plus and a minus for it. Look at like buy now, enroll today, enroll now. You are pushing people to take action now. The positive side is those who are ready will actually jump into it. But there are people who are yet to internalize and understand this content. Huyo mtu bado yuko tayari. So, see how you can be able to nurture that. Day 30, thank your show gratitude or messages or appreciation, and then show those people how to move next. For example, if I was at the launchpad, I'm doing well, show me how now I can be able to upgrade. and I either go to the daily pay blueprint, the digital mastery, or even the legacy builder program. Show me how I can. Yes, I have been to the top as far as this is concerned. Now, can I be able now to move to another level? Now, as much as we are calling this a 30 days challenge or a 30 days content planning and implementation plan, so day that one utaenda wapi? You go back to your day one, or you may even decide today I'm not teaching anything new. I'll go into question and answer session. Tell me about your pain points. Tell me about your challenges. You nurture those who are into your program, at least to be able to get somewhere. The worst that can happen is you get people to believe in you, and then when they get started, you disown them. They are on their own. As I was explaining to Dave before we went live, I said I have bought into many programs, but quite a number of them we could not complete. Why? Because at some point the mentor was not there, and even when the mentor is there, they are not able to connect with my situation. So friends, that is how you get to package your content day by day, day by day. Now, I just want to mention something very important to Rudy week 1, and I could have picked any week for that reason. By the time you get to day number 7, there are certain things that you will observe. By the time you get to day number 7, there's somebody who is coming in to start as a beginner, day 1. That now is like what used to happen in primary school. Whoever is now coming and is a new party goes to class 1 or at the lowest level. Whoever is there, whoever has been there can now ascend to maybe class 2, class 3. I normally say, don't take this as a burden. Your work as a digital coach, you only have 3 things to do: to train, or to train, to inspire, and to release. You cannot be training somebody forever. It's like having to learn how to swim. You cannot be having swimming lessons from day 1 to day 30, and that person has never jumped into the swimming pool. Let them jump into the swimming pool. Now hold their hand while in the swimming pool, and they'll be able now to navigate how to swim from or how to move from the shallow end into the deep end. But if you wait until that time when you teach everything, there is a very big difference between theory and practice. Let someone tell you, shida yangu ni hii, I'm experiencing this, so how do I move from this? I generated this, but it has not worked. How do you get to panel beat while you are in the journey? Yes. So in short, simple words, this is how you get to plan for your content. That is how you get to plan for your content. Now, I want to invite, kuna maswali, any questions, something related to the content or not, ndio tuangalie tena. Wycliffe, Davy, any of you can go first. Davy.
I actually expected Wycliffe to go first because...
Okay. Wycliffe was actually not even with us yesterday. Lakini ni sawa Wiki. Wycliffe is still on mute. Wycliffe. Sawa. David tuendelee. You can ask now. You can go ahead.
Yeah, I just thought, I don't know whether I'm in order to ask that, but those planning, the content planning for the 30 days.
Yes.
Like for example, if we pick on any,
like your origin, yes.
your origin story.
Yes.
Maybe, I don't know whether I'm thinking so wide, maybe you would have the expected outcomes, so that as you move from day one all along to day 30,
Yes.
at the end of it, you can look back and say, this is how I've performed in my content planning, so that you are not ambushed with the negative outcomes at the end of the whole 30 days.
Okay.
I'm trying to think that in your planning, maybe if you would be prudent enough, even at day 5 or day 7 or day 10, whatever case, and you find that you did not meet the expected outcomes, then you can take a corrective measure in real time.
Now, let me give you, okay, let me just use the illustration that we have here. Like on day 1, my growth from 0 to 100 clients, to 1,000 clients. So the outcome here is actually achieving 1,000 clients. As much as day 1 will not be talking about the money, because I will not expect that I'm making a sale on day 1 when I have 0 or I have 1, 2, 3 clients or followers. How did if you look at, let me use TikTok for example, you'll find the primary thing is, how do I get followers? So how did I raise from, like if you look at TikTok, for someone to be able to go live, you need at least 1,000 followers. I am really craving to go live, but because I do not have 1,000 followers, so this is where now you showcase for me to be able to not even make the money, to be able to go live, because that is what somebody is interested in. How, like you may find a topic like how to make or how to grow your traffic to 1,000 followers in 24 hours. It may be realistic or unrealistic, but now you'll be able to evaluate on the content therein. Yes, for each of these, even as you provide the example, let that example be accompanied be with a possible, rather with the desired outcome where suitable or where applicable. Like when I'm explaining, look at number 2, why digital marketing is the future. Is the future, meaning that the future is yet to come. Now, in terms of my illustration or showcasing, I can be able to talk about where we have come from, where we are, and where we are going. But then also to make it sweeter, I can also be able to talk about, okay, so where we are going, have I tapped into that space? And how has that space helped me? So, David, towards that front, yes, I fully agree with what you're saying. Rather than having to wait until the point in time when you find yourself ambushed, it's very important that in your illustration you are able to show the results where possible, and also in that where possible, if such results can be quantified, like we are talking from 0 to 1,000 clients, from 0 to 1,000 followers, kitu kama namna hiyo, you should be able to showcase that. Sijui kama nimejibu swali.
It's okay, I've understood.
Yes. Anything else? Okay. Now,
not for now.
Yes. Now, I want to do something special tomorrow. And that something special tomorrow is we only do 2 things. Number 1, we do a recap over what we did day 1, day 2, day 3, and then which day 3 is today. And then now we go into a serious engagement in terms of question and answer, where we get to ask ourselves, in other words, we create scenarios, we ask ourselves questions, and then we figure out how the solution is going to be. The sole purpose for that is to help us to be able to shape our journey, to mold our journey, so that I know as I'm getting started, by this time, this is what I'm anticipating. Where am I? Kitu kama namna hiyo. I don't know whether it is making sense.
To me, it is.
Yes.
It is making a lot of sense. In fact, on my notebook here,
yes,
I had written down something, but I realize it's premature to ask it for now.
Yes.
Nevertheless, you've addressed it when you say we will have to look back and recap all where we've come from to where we are,
Yeah.
and then be able to see whether we have learned anything. And again, it will equip us with the ability to know, I mean, to make an optimal decision
Right.
as to what we have to do.
Yes.
What I've jotted on my notebook here, I don't know whether it's in marketing, but in finance it is. It's called
Yes.
risk evaluation.
Yes.
And I've just written something like measurement of risk and risk diversification. Now, in this case, this may be worth telling you.
Yes. Go ahead.
When you get to the clips on YouTube,
Yes.
and just type something like introduction to digital marketing, you'll see many things.
Yes.
In fact, if you do not have a chronological way as to how you can listen and watch each one of them, you get confused along the way, because people talk of many variant things, some of which you don't even understand. Like, for example, I met some things, given that I'm very new in marketing.
Yeah.
Some were called CPR, others were called CPAs, others were called, and I didn't know what they are. And I didn't even know where to fit them within the study of marketing. But now I can see it started coming out clearly, slowly by slowly.
Yeah.
And so your idea of looking back and see where we've come from and where we are could not have come at a better time.
And let me say, I've picked one thing from what you've said. I mean, the diversification of that. Is it diversification of the risk? Yeah.
Yes.
And the reality is this: there is nothing without a risk. Even being alive and doing nothing is is risky by itself. But
Sure.
But how much risk? I mean, what is my level of risk averseness? How much risk can I be able to take, and how much risk can I be able to manage? And if I use my personal experience, I decided to start small, because much like just what you've said, I went into that space and I found there was so much to consume. And some of these things, there's a term called the hook. Some of these terms are just meant to hook you into something. Perhaps tomorrow I also get you into the digital community. Now, so for me, what I began by doing, especially in the digital community, I said, besides what I am doing as far as this program is concerned, are there other digital community platforms that I could also see? For example, like this, one of my areas of curiosity is AI. Are there other platforms that are showing how I can make money using AI? In other words, I'm trying to see, as I'm doing this digital marketing. Now, to say, I have not had time to create content. Can I have AI generated content that I can generate, schedule, so that when I'm busy or while I'm away, that content is going live? So I began by going for digital community platforms that are free. Yes, because I don't want to pay for something. I go into it, then I discover apana. What I'm finding here is not what I expected. So I began by going for digital communities that are free, bit by bit. So I was trying to manage or to spread my risk. But all the same, the greatest risk is when we may spend so much time over analyzing. I would better say, okay, fine. I may not have the full picture, but I have the big picture or the bigger picture. Can I go for the smallest package? Then to see, number one again, to see whether, oh yes, I can actually apply the skills learned and I make a sale. I apply the skill learned and I know how to generate the right content, etc. So it boils down to that when it comes down to managing that risk. As I said, rather than going into a swimming pool and to jump into the deep end, why can't I start from the shallow end and then I can advance into the deep end as I feel more confident or as I am ready to swim in the deep waters. That's right?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. So again, as I did promise yesterday, na hii nitakangana because tomorrow I have no class. So last night's video and today's video will go up or will go online tomorrow morning. Saa hii sitaki shughuli ingine. I just want to have my supper. I relax, I sleep. Then tomorrow, now I get to upload this content. Then I put together some content that will help us to recap everything. What we did day one, day two, today. Then at least that now that opens up our mind. Then we can be able to see or agree on what will follow next. Any question before we can end the session?
No, I'm okay for now.
Oh, okay. So, Brother David, thanks so much for being available. And my prayer is, besides being able to enter into the space, generate some content, and make some money, that you'll actually be able to scale up and become a coach. The real money is in coaching. Because the moment now you have your product and your product has proven itself, you now become a coach. And you start now charging a premium price for people to attend your coaching sessions. That is where we must end up.
Thank you.
I mean, let me tell you, the best coaches under the sun are teachers. We are mentors.
Yes.
And it comes naturally. So, I would say tulipue hii space.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Be blessed and have a good night.
Welcome, sir. You to have a blessed night.
I'll see you tomorrow.